All right. Hello, hello. We are live for another VanHack webinar. Hello, everybody. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear us and you guys can see us. So, can you hear and see us? Hello. Sometimes there's a delay or a lag. So before we start, I just want to make sure that you guys can see us. No? Okay. That's not good. Not yet. Yeah, so let's just wait and make sure that there's. Can you hear? Load video. Okay, awesome. Loading. Nice. Great. Seeing and hearing. Perfect. Awesome. Last time we had some some tech issues, so it's good to see that it's working this time. So hello everybody. Really great to connect with everyone. Super excited for this webinar. We have 2 and potentially 3 fantastic guests. So sorry we're a little bit late, but Will was having some audio issues, and he hopefully will be back soon. Okay, so Joshua said it's muted, but can everyone else hear? If you can hear me, say yes, please, or that you can hear us. I just want to make sure it's working for most people. You can hear? Okay, great. Hi, Hiroki. Nice to see you. You owe me your resume. Send me your resume. Yes. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get started. Let's get right into it. So today we have with us 2 members of the team Dreamify, and hopefully 3, as I mentioned. So we have Jessica and we have Fernanda. Jessica is a front-end developer, and Fernanda is a designer. They're both members of VanHack Pro, which is our monthly subscription that's $10 a month, where you get access to the Van Hackathon, as well as a call with our team and a video course about how to get a job in Canada with help with your resume, profile, etc. So, ladies, let's talk about your experience working with Dreamify. But first, tell us a little bit about yourselves. So maybe Fernanda, you can go first, and then Jessica, tell us a little about who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's working.
Okay, so my name is Fernanda, and I work as a designer for almost 8 years now. And actually, I'm working more with mobile applications, to Sony Mobile specifically. And I'm very happy to be part of this team and to have the opportunity to join William and the Dreamify team on the Van Hackathon, because it's a really nice project. And I don't know, William, it's been so cool to us to let us do this work, and I'm very happy to work with him and with Jessica and Fabricio, that it's another developer that isn't here now, but I think he's listening now.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I don't know, I'm nervous.
It's okay, Fernanda. It's totally normal. Don't worry, just me and you hanging out.
Yeah. And
cool. Yeah, so it sounds like you have a lot of great experience, 8 years experience,
yeah.
and you've been working with with Will and the Dreamify team, and you're the designer.
Yeah, I'm working with both UI and UX, the user interface and the user experience. So this is a really nice opportunity to me to put all this knowledge in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Outside work, and for a project that is not just for money, but it's for dreams, you know. And
Awesome.
it's a really nice work.
Fantastic. And we'll definitely get a little bit more into what Dreamify is. But how about Jessica? Can you introduce yourself, please? Jessica, you're on mute, so maybe you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Hello, I'm Jessica. I'm living now in Campinas. but I graduated in Bauru at Unesp Bauru. So I graduated and I had the opportunity to go abroad through Science Without Borders. So now I'm working here in Campinas for Motorola project, and well, I found out about VanHackathon, and I think it was Izumi page, and I called 3 of my friends to join us. That's how I met VanHackathon. Also, I had another friend that was hired in VanHackathon.
Cool.
Nino, Nino Bauru.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nino, Baru. Hey, Nino. Who was your other friend who got hired?
Nino. I think
Oh, Nino.
he's
Yeah, Nino.
here. Yeah,
Of course, yes, he's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome, very exciting. Thanks so much for sharing that. And Will, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's working.
The tech entrepreneur that can't get tech to work.
Well, it's working now. That's all that matters. So, Will, nice to meet you. Do you mind quickly introducing yourself to everybody?
Yeah. So, is this going out to your entire VanHack community?
No, not everybody, but we have about 238 people with us.
Okay, awesome.
Precise.
So, yeah, I've been a tech entrepreneur probably for about 10 years. The first tech company that was kind of helped start was a company called Team Pages, and everyone can check that out. Team, Team pages.com. And we basically were building software for amateur sports teams, and the pitch at the time was Facebook for amateur sports. It's turned into a lot more like LinkedIn for amateur sports, and that was just at the start of like when SaaS-based business models started coming out. And so that was a lot of fun. We built a social network, and I think they've got well over 100,000 kids and stuff like that playing in like over 10,000 teams around the world. And they built a sustainable business that I think employs probably 6 to 10 people now. And so that was kind of the first venture. And then I just kind of went into a whole bunch of other ventures along the way. The most kind of successful of which the company is now, I joined when they're at 46 staff, and they probably have 300 staff now, and they're worth about $100 million. And then another venture after that, we raised about 1.425 million, and we were trying to bring on Intel Capital to fund our next round, which would have been about a $30 million round at about a $100 million valuation. And we were kind of in that. It gets fun at that point in time. And so now we kind of took this idea that I had 5 years ago of like, wow, one day everyone's going to have phones and they're going to be running around cities, and they're going to be able to connect with everyone else with phones. And this was before before apps existed on phones. And I went and pitched all these investors and stuff like that, and they're like, no, this is crazy. This is never going to happen. And 5 years later, we live in a world where everyone's running around with phones, and the first kind of company that's come out and made it really successful is Pokemon Go, where they took the phone and used it as a tool to turn life into more of like a game. They're using augmented reality. And so kind of our team with Dreamify, we kind of just like opened up the idea at the start of the hackathon, and then it's funny because our team is kind of really gelled, and we're kind of playing around with this concept of if you took Facebook like a social network and you took Pokemon Go like a real life game, and you smash the two together, and you let everyone run around the world and do different challenges and communicate on this social application with things like Dream Talk and Dream Chat, and you let dreamers from all over the world connect and collaborate to bring their dreams to life, what would the world look like? And so now we've kind of we got the team has been awesome. We got our first sign up, so I think you were one of the first couple people to actually sign in, and that was like our mission. So we like accomplished mission number 1, because it's really hard like you get a whole team together, and it's like it takes 5 different people working kind of throughout the night. Everyone's part-time, and we're just like, how do we get one person to sign up? And so our team kind of successfully took like all these ideas and threw a whole bunch out. We just said, let's just get one person to sign up, and that was kind of our mission. And so now we've kind of been able to cross fingers here, hopefully track some awesome investors, and then we're going to do our mission 2 is to get 1,000 people to actually use the site, like sign on and actually it being useful. So right now we're just kind of working, and we're just taking things one day at a time and see if we can do that. So that's been
Awesome.
kind of our story, and it's like super bootstrap, but we're having fun. So
that's really great. That's really great, Will.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And just so for everyone to know, Dreamify is the name of the project, and it's a social network for dreamers, as Will alluded to. And Will is or Dreamify, I should say, was one of the companies that participated in the last hackathon in May, and that's how the team was able to connect with Will. So let's dive into that. Maybe Will, you can, or actually, anyone here. Maybe we can talk about that. Will first, and then we can talk about how it was with the team. How was your experience with the hackathon? So you mentioned you had this idea a while ago. You weren't able to really put it into the world the way you wanted to see it, and then you joined the hackathon, and you found some really great, talented people. So maybe talk about how was that weekend process for you from an employer point of view, and then we'll talk about how Fernanda and Jessica saw it.
Yeah. So from my point of view, what every kind of startup is struggling with is you have a very limited amount of time, and you have a very limited amount of resources. And so unless you get a team to band together of kind of 5 or 10 people, then you're screwed right out of the gates. And so what I found before when going into starting a venture is that you have kind of a visionary, or you have an ideas guy, and they go run around the world, and they've always got the next big idea. But then it requires an entire team of people. So you might have like a visionary that's a little bit like a Steve Jobs or like a George Lucas. But that's nothing. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere. That will get you from kind of from A not even to B. And so like I feel that most of the success comes down to a team. So you kind of need to have an idea that everyone everyone has to put way before money, because money is like very, very limited. It's like you can eventually get infinite amounts of money, but at the start of the journey, no one's going to give you any money. So on day one, your limitation is money. So you can't have that be the kind of the main thing that everyone wants to get around. It has to be the idea. So I feel like you need a great idea, but then you need a team of people that actually really care about the idea itself or about the mission. And so I feel like what we were able to find is like I just threw the idea out. But what was more important is like I think Jessica, for instance, has done like so much work on just keeping the team together. And like if it wasn't for Jessica, this wouldn't have gone anywhere, because after about a week of like after the hackathon, the team put something together, and I was too busy to even look at it. I was like, oh, this looks great, like great, awesome feedback. But then Jessica reached out and said like, hey, can we meet again? And this is my team. So I think the team had to have a certain amount of follow through, and then so you got to have a great team. You have to have a great idea, and then the team has to have follow through, and so people have to be excited by it, and they have to like do extra steps. And so beyond me just saying here's an idea that we can all work on, and kind of helping with the financing of it, like keep the energy going, I feel like Jessica kind of jumped in and brought everyone together, and I think that without that kind of the team gelling at the very, very start after those first 2 days, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. So it's been great. You got to have a great idea. People have to get around it and say, okay, let's take a shot at this, but then you have to have a team that gels. And so far our team seems to be working well together.
That's great.
Basically, any single day, at any given day, all of us could walk away. We could just be like, "Hey, we just want to walk away," because everyone on the team, we need one another to work together, and so that team has to gel, and there has to be a bigger reason that we gel. So I think we got a bunch of us that actually believe in what we're doing, and that's what's keeping us kind of working together. So
Very cool. Very cool.
that's my kind of take on it, I guess.
Yeah, from the entrepreneur and the employer point of view. Very cool.
Yeah.
So how about Jessica, Fernanda? How was your experience? So you said you heard about the Van Hackathon in the newspaper article, and you joined. What were your expectations going in? How was the weekend for you? Did you sleep? Talk more about that, please.
Okay, some days before we were looking through a document because we were which company we pick. I don't know. Maybe Journify, maybe My Best Helper. There were lots of options. So we first decided to get another company actually. But then when we joined VanHackathon and we had this opportunity to talk to the CEOs and get to know them, what they believe. That was super important for us. So after we talked to William, we thought that he was more like he had the same mindset as the team. So we picked Germify. For that weekend, we actually slept. Yeah, we worked hard, of course, but we slept like 6 hours, and after we woke up, we were back together working.
Cool, so, awesome. 6 hours a night, not very much.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so how did it work, like in actually building? Like, what did you actually build? Like, Fernanda, did you design the screens? What were we able to accomplish in the 2 days?
Yeah, at first we did a mobile application and we did not focus on the web page. So we did almost a complete application for Android, and a little bit of a web page that Jessica developed also, and it was a really rush, but as Jessica said, we slept a few hours, but it was really nice because I think the project was totally something different for us to do, And William was always talking to us from at Slack, so we just got into the idea, and it was really nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that probably is one of the best things, or my favorite things about the Van Hackathon, is that you actually get to interact in the Slack group directly with the CEOs or the recruiters from each company, and build that relationship with someone from another country, someone who potentially might hire you. And I don't think you can do that anywhere else. So that's super exciting to hear that you guys did that.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to have this contact with the CEOs, and it's the first time that I did something like this.
Cool. Yeah. And just quickly, some people are asking questions here. I'll quickly answer them, and I want to talk about the remote aspect, which I think a lot of people are interested in. And so Caillou is asking what role each one played. I'll just quickly say Jessica was the front-end developer and Fernanda was the designer. We already talked about that earlier. And yes, everyone, or at least Jessica and Fernanda are from Brazil, and Will is from Vancouver, and so am I. So yeah, that's actually a good point here. So you guys are in Brazil. I don't think you're in the same city in Brazil, and then Will's in Vancouver. How was that working remotely, where you can only maybe see each other in Google Hangout or Skype? Oh, very cool, Brian from Venezuela. That's awesome. Hi everyone from Venezuela, and other countries, Chile, Brazil, expanding all over the world. That's cool. Sorry. So how was that working with someone who's in another country, another city? Maybe language might have been an issue. Did you feel like you were connected on the same page? Were there any points where maybe things weren't going as well as you thought? How was that experience?
Do you want to ask anyone specifically, or just all?
Oh yeah. How about we'll start with Jessica and Fernando, and then Will, you can
Yeah.
jump in after.
Well, as I said, it was my first experience working with someone from outside Brazil, and I think it was cool. We talked through, I think, Skype one day. We talked about all the ideas to meet each other, to know what each other thinks about the project, and William talked a lot to us, explaining all his thoughts, and we also talked about our dreams, and I think from the beginning that the team was really bounded, so we have the same mindset and the same ideas and the same goals. So I think it was really nice. Since the beginning, I really felt very comfortable with everyone here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How about you, Jessica?
Yeah, I usually talk to William because I intermediate. Like I'm more responsible to talk what William wants to the rest of the team. So we talk through Facebook Messenger. Every time that we know each progress in our project, we communicate each other. So I think I think we never had any issue with this. It was always on the same pace because we, as Fernanda said, we have the same goals, and that's what matters.
Nice. That's awesome. And Will, how about you? How was your experience dealing with remote teams?
Yeah, I felt I think that, like, from my perspective, we got really lucky because the team that's working on it is really humble and like focused on work. In North America, my experience has been quite a bit different. In San Francisco, in Vancouver, in New York, a little bit in San Diego, they don't focus on work. They actually just focus on getting deals done. And so they don't. A lot of times, I find that developers and engineers in those areas don't actually get anything accomplished. But the valuation of the company gets higher and higher, and there's no progress. And so what I found is, like, working with the team that we put together, we didn't focus. Like, our goal wasn't to, like, our goal is not to go into Silicon Valley and get this crazy round of financing. Our goal is to, because we're not there yet, our goal is to, like, progress, to go from one step of the journey to the next step. And so I've found that our team is way more focused on just building a great product because we're forced to, and then be focused on getting one user, and then focus on, after we get one user, we don't, like, get ahead of ourselves too much. And so I know working with Jessica, sometimes I'm moving like 1,000,000 miles a minute, or progress. I'm like, oh, let's get this launched right away, and I feel like a lot of it ends up being team camaraderie and being able, and actually, Ilya, you've helped us out a ton. So I think that there's a whole bunch of people that need to be involved. So anyone who's kind of listening and kind of figuring out, what project they want to work with or what company they want to work with in Canada, I think that they should focus most of their attention on who do they want to work with, not necessarily what company. It's like, go into a company, meet with a bunch of the people in the company, see if you really get along with them, see if you can bond, because I think our team is doing a great job of actually just coming together versus more than anything. And that's really tough to find. I would say, like, any of the developers that are in Central or South America, like the huge value that they can bring and the contribution is having the humility to actually do great work versus the arrogance to go out and be like, I'm a developer, I should get paid $120,000 a year because my friend works at Facebook or at Google. And it's like such unrealistic expectations. So I'd encourage everyone who's listening is like, use that humility, use great work to your advantage. Just focus on doing great work. Don't focus on getting outside the box and try to, like, all these different things that developers in North America. I don't know if you've worked with that many developers or engineers in North America, Ilya, but that's been my experience. Is like, I've had a really, really great time working with our team. And so that's the feedback I would give to everyone. Nice.
That's awesome to hear. And I think that everyone, on the webinar, guys, if you're looking for a remote job, if you can go in with that mindset of trying to connect to the right person, show them what you can do, show your skills, make sure that they build that trust with them, and then you can start working remotely, because I think that as some people have mentioned in the chat, there is a lot of demand. There are a lot of jobs in Vancouver, and maybe you can kind of talk a little bit about the Canadian or the Vancouver startup scene specifically. What's the market like? Is it hard to find good developers? And because I think a lot of people here would be interested in either working remotely in Canada or also going there and being there in person. So just maybe comment quickly on the market in general. What do you feel like? Are there a lot of jobs for tech, for developers, infrastructure engineers, designers? How do you see that?
Yeah, so I think that people in general shouldn't focus necessarily on getting a job. They should focus on finding a team. And so if you kind of focus on getting a job, you'll look at all the job boards and stuff like that, and sure, you can get a job. Like, anyone can get a job anywhere. But if you get a job and you're miserable, then you've got a job and you're miserable. And so there's plenty of jobs, like, all over the world. But people, like anyone who's listening, is like, what's really in demand, and it will be anywhere in the world, in North America a lot, is people that have a good attitude, that just like taking things one day at a time. So they're there. They just get like little, like in the tech world, it's unbelievable to know this. But in the tech world in North America, if you can just get like our team, we spent 3 months, and it's just like we just got to get a website, and we just got to get one user. And so anyone who's kind of learning tech or who's following the tech scene anywhere in the world, then don't try to get all the skill sets. You don't need all the skill sets. An employer's not looking for that. What they're looking for is someone that can join a team, and that each and every day for like 30 days or 60 days, they can just advance a project to like one step further, and then one step further. And then once a project gets more momentum, or it starts to become more successful, then they're going to recruit. They'll bring you onto the team right away. And so that's kind of what I would encourage everyone to do, is like, go into the Vancouver Hackathon, help those teams that you're jumping in to work with. We had a ton of people that kind of helped with Dreamify and then completely dropped off. So you just don't hear from anyone again, and they don't advance things from A to B. And so I feel like it's really valuable that someone advances things from A to B, and then ask the employer, like our team does. It's like, hey, I have a PayPal account, so can you start sending funds to my PayPal account? And most employers and most companies, they don't want to make huge commitments right out of the gates, because they're kind of just in this place of growing their business. So what they'll do is they'll get developers that work remotely to help get from A to B. So they'll pay them a couple $1,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 to get to their next round of financing, whether it's a seed round or Series A round or Series B. So the questions to ask employers is, where are you at with your rounds? How close are you to getting financing? What's it going to take to get financing? How can I help you get financing? All of those questions will bring up a really clear roadmap for the individual who's looking to get hired at where a company is in their life cycle. And so like our team knows, like our goal is now to do our seed stage round of financing. So we just met with another investor today. I have another investor call tonight. So I let the team know, because I believe in kind of total transparency, is like, hey, what are our odds of success? We don't know. But can we get an investor come in? Maybe. Let's take a shot at that. Let's do our best to try to do that. If we're able to do that, then everyone on the team make an agreement that everyone gets to benefit from that accomplishment. And so it kind of like ties everyone into the growth of the company. So to finalize the points is like, look for companies that are growing, that have a lot of growth potential, and position yourself at the growth curve of the company and make yourself an invaluable team member to that company. That's the best way to start providing value, and then to get gobbled up by one of these companies that's going to be growing. And you get a good salary, and you get to go along for the ride. And if they screw up, hey, the CEO or the founders of the company are usually going to take the brunt of the screw up, and any kind of employees or team members can jump to the next project that's kind of that's moving along or has momentum. So
nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's
Yeah,
what
I
we're
think.
looking.
Yeah, that's great advice, and I think that joining a startup company is especially a good strategy for people who want to work remotely, because there's a lot of how can I say this? There's a lot of demand, a lot of things to do, and not enough people in the early days. And it's really hard to find good talent. Everyone wants to work for the Amazons and Microsofts of the world, but a company, that's one person or two people, it's hard for them to find the right person. So if you guys who are on the webinar watching this, like Camilo in Chile, who is trying to find a job in Canada, you can connect with companies like this at the Van Hackathon. Other websites could be AngelList, Angel.co, and Remote OK, etc. There's a lot of websites out there, but yeah, very, very good advice, William. And Fernanda and Jessica, how have you guys found maybe working at a smaller company? I'm not sure what you're working, like your day jobs are in Brazil, but how has it been working with a smaller company versus maybe a bigger company that you might traditionally be working for in Brazil?
Well, I think it's very challenging because it's the start of everything, so we have to fight together with William. So the challenges are very awesome, but I think the opportunity it's unique, to grow with everyone and to see this product growing also. So I think it's really amazing to see step by step bringing this to life with William and all the team members and everything.
Definitely. How about you, Jessica? How's it been for you working at a smaller company?
Okay, so the company that I work here in Brazil is 500 people, and now we are working only in 5 people. So I think we have to build everything from scratch. That's the most challenging part. For example, I usually work as front-end developer in my company, but in Dreamify, everyone had to do a little bit about everything, like back-end. So I think it's great. It helps you to develop more skills about you, and I recommend everyone should try to working in a smaller company.
Definitely. I completely agree. As someone who has created a small company and always enjoyed more working at smaller companies. So some people are asking questions here, so I'm just going to quickly answer the questions on the side, and we'll get back to the discussion. But Alessandra was talking about remote jobs for project managers. That's probably not going to happen, Alessandra. Remote job usually is for developers, designers, people who work with digital marketing, that kind of stuff. Wilson, yes, definitely. iOS developer from Bolivia for sure. Yeah, can definitely work remotely. And someone asked about animators and designers, so I think Vanessa. So I'm actually working really hard to get people or companies that are in the animation and visual effects space to the next VanHackathon in October. So keep an eye out for that, Vanessa. And Fernanda's a designer, so she's working as a designer from a VanHackathon company remotely. So yeah, cool. And quickly, yes, Thiago, there's definitely remote jobs for data scientists and machine learning specialists, 100%. And Paulo, yes, I guess you're right. You have to have those savings plus the money. And Ruby on Rails for sure, yes, definitely. Lots of Ruby on Rails jobs out there. Cool. All right. We'll definitely have some time for questions, a lot more questions at the end. But let's continue here. One thing that came up, and I think I don't want to go get into the details of this, but a question of payment. William came up with, talked about PayPal, so I just wanted to kind of quickly talk about that. So it's just pretty easy to send money to different places these days. Was it just through PayPal that you were able to pay the team, and everything kind of works smoothly that way?
Yeah, so we kind of just negotiated at the start and set the parameters. Like our main goal was to make progress, and so Jessica and one of the back-end developers that we're working with, Gustavo, we actually just put on a project runway of what we needed to accomplish over a certain period of time. And kind of what my philosophy or my idea around payments and contributions and stuff like that is like, everyone wants to see progress with their projects. So if whatever you've got to kind of pay to start getting progress or momentum, that's what our goal was. So we started off with something, I think, like a budget of 2,000, and then we were working towards our next milestone of what our next budget is going to be. And we kind of just like we didn't talk. It wasn't. We broke it up for each team member. And it's a nominal amount, so it's a small amount for every single person that's working on it. But as we talked as a team, we care more about progress than we did about how much everyone's earning on the team. And so that's kind of how we've structured it. And so when I go out to other investment partners, it's the same conversation. It's like, here's where we've got with the financing that we've put into this so far, and here's where we want to go. Can you support us to get to this milestone? So I would suggest, like, anyone who's looking for an open position or a job is like figure out from that company what milestone they're at right now and where they want to go, and see if you can kind of just jump into their team. Like, it's almost like you get into a rowboat and there's a certain amount of room in each boat, and some teams need more people in their boat to row faster. And so just find the boats that need an extra person in their team. Like, I think our team right now is probably good where it's at, but eventually we'll probably need a couple extra team members, and we'll just add them into the mix, and they'll talk with Jessica and jump in, and that they'll just go along our kind of the budget that we've outlined, and we'll just add another team member into a line item and just jump in like an extra iOS developer or an Android developer. And so does that kind of answer it? It's like we didn't put a timeline on when the payments would be made or anything like that.
Definitely.
We said, every single day, let's make progress, and as we're making progress, I'll allocate more funds towards this. The funding is really just the energy to keep the engine moving forward. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's clarifying and is a good strategy. And then ladies, maybe you can comment on how earning this extra money and also working for a Canadian company while you're still in Brazil, how has that been helpful for you in your careers? Again, kind of getting this virtual Canadian experience. What do you feel you've learned the most out of this? It can be Jessica or Fernanda.
I think I think it's what we were looking for, the exchange rate 0.5 reais, I think, which is better for Brazilians, of course. And what we and another thing, work for a Canadian company, I think, from my experience, I think I had more, yeah, that's what was my experience.
Hey Jessica, it cut out a lot. Maybe you can turn off your video and try answering again. But Fernanda, do you mind?
Is it
Do you mind talking?
better?
A little bit. I'm not so sure.
Well, so I'll talk.
Cool.
As Jessica
Thanks.
said, it's really nice for us Brazilians to work with outside work because about the money, it's because worth more than Brazilian reais. So it's really nice to have an extra budget for us. But mostly, I think the experience is the better part of the job, and actually deal with William that is different because we have the opportunity to talk in English that is not common, not so common here. And it's a very nice experience to practice this every day and also to know other cultures because we're developing not just for Canada or US or Brazil. So we also have to pay attention with every details as a designer so we can work and to all of these different cultures. So it's really nice. And I'm really, really happy to have this opportunity to work with William.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's it. You know, internet has no borders. It's one of our main values, one of our core values, and working with cultures, people from all over the world, I think is more and more common. So the earlier you can start doing that, the better.
Yeah, and this is easier than I thought because at first I thought we could have some problems on communication or something like that, but we didn't. So it's really nice to have this experience to work remotely.
Cool. Fernando, what kind of designer are you? Someone's asking here.
Oh, sorry. I'm a user interface and user experience designer, so I design the interface itself and also the experience that the user will have using something, using the website or using the mobile application. And I can choose the colors, the typography, the icons, and for anyone who doesn't know what a designer do. So I do all these things, and I try to make the interface beautiful, you know, so people would like to use it and feel happy to use something.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, and I've seen your work in the design. It's very nice stuff. Congrats, Fernanda. So quickly before we move to Jessica, there was a comment here about the VanHackathon. I'll definitely talk a lot more about it after the webinar in about 15 minutes here. But I just want to quickly say the VanHackathon is a virtual hackathon that is going to be happening on October 21st to 23rd. It's going to be all online. We run it in a Slack group, and it's for VanHack Pro, Premium, or English members. So you can join VanHack Pro by going to vanhack.com/pro, and I put a quick little thing there. You can just click the button sign up to get more information about that. Basically, what's included in VanHack Pro, it's $10 a month, $10 Canadian a month, which is about 23 or 24 reais. So it's the price of a lunch. Is a monthly call with our team. So usually with me or another team member, you have a monthly consultation call, one-on-one. We have a monthly hangout where we talk about whatever it is you want. Usually we bring guest speakers, and this is just for pro members. And then we also have a Slack group where our Van Hackathon members talk and chat, and then we have a video and then an email course that shows you how to get a great LinkedIn profile, a good CV, a good cover letter, a good portfolio, and has interviews with a lot of the top leaders and people in the Canadian technology space. And so that's only it's only $10 a month, and that of course also includes the Van Hackathon in October. So if you just check out the link there, you can get more information. If you have any other questions, please let me know. But let's talk with Jessica quickly about how was her experience working remotely for a Canadian company. Yeah, could you just quickly chat about that, Jessica?
I think, yeah. So I mentioned before that the Canadian dollar is worth more in Brazil, and we receive our payments through PayPal. So can you guys hear me okay now? Yeah, okay. So we don't have to declare imposto de renda when we get the payments through PayPal. So we can spend this budget in lots of things in Brazil without having any problems with this. And well, someone asked me how can I manage both jobs. Well, we plan a lot. We are a team that we have 5 people here, and we have to manage, and everyone has to work together. So we always make sure that no one is overwhelmed. And comparing Canada, so I worked with the United States before, and I think it was not a good experience as working now for a Canadian investor. So that was my good experience. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Sounds like it was definitely worth it. Very cool. All right, cool. Well, how about we can finish off with some advice you guys have. So maybe we can start with Will, and then Jessica, Fernando, or Fernando, Jessica, however you guys want to do it. But Will, can you tell us maybe a little bit more about what you recommend that someone does when they're looking for a job? Let's say they're not in Canada yet. How can they get attention of someone like you? What channels? Maybe LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, other things like that. What kind of information would you share?
Yeah, so I feel like Van Hackathon first and foremost is like what you're doing is like fantastic. It makes life so much easier for the employers in Canada, and to be straightforward, it's like if a Canadian company can be competitive by being able to work with team members from around the world, and they don't have to have the overwhelming amount of kind of costs that some Canadians or even Americans will charge for the same level of development work, then every company is going to look at that as a potential opportunity. And so I feel that people should be aware that when they're working with Van Hackathon and VanHack in general, is like there's a ton of people just like myself that are in Vancouver that are looking for talent, and they're looking all over the world. So they're definitely not looking in Canada. It's not like I sit around and I look for talent in Canada or even the United States. It's just, it's way too competitive, and it's way overly saturated. And so I think a lot of companies will go to VanHack to look for talent. So that would be number one, is like if anyone can join the hackathon, guaranteed that's a smart thing to do. Number 2 is to look for little opportunities. Don't look for big opportunities. It's silly to look to work with like a Google or a Facebook. Google gets like millions of applicants each year. Companies that are smaller companies, they can still, you do the exact same work. Like our team at Dreamify is working on the exact same stuff that a Facebook or a Google or a Twitter or a MySpace, like all of those large-scale social networks, we're working on the same stuff. We're just not as resourced. So we have less resources. So you get to work on the same exact kind of problems, and that's what's fun. So look for small opportunities. Don't look for big opportunities. Look for the little ones that are like in the cracks, and have the ability to get started quickly. So don't ask for something up front. Just give as much as possible. That's kind of like been my formula for success. Is you just go in and start giving. So figure out what the company's doing and see if you can advance them a little bit. And then once you advance them a little bit, then start to ask for some reconciliation for the work completed. So 1 is work with VanHack. Number 2 is look for the little guys, look for the little opportunities. And 3 is add value or become helpful like right away and move a project forward. Don't ask for something before you move a project forward. There's way too many people asking before doing. And so the team that I chose to work with, they produced something that I was like, this is awesome. I'm so busy. I looked at it. I went, this is great. Let's go. I didn't even think twice about it. Didn't even know who the team was. Didn't know how many people were on the team. Just the fact that they produced design work and a functional site that I could sign up to, I was like, perfect. That's enough. So it doesn't take a lot. Just do something. Just get something going and practice that. So those would be the kind of 3 points that I would give in terms of advice.
That's awesome. I really like that, and I think that you're right. You know, give to get, and I think looking for the small opportunities is really I think something that most people don't think of because maybe they haven't heard of some of the smaller companies in Canada. So. Very cool. Quickly here, I just...
Ilya, is small companies move at like 10,000 times the speed of a very large company. So if you want to get hired, then if at a large company, it could take a year just to go through their hiring process. With a small company, it could be the matter of a day. So if you look at small companies, it's like you might have to jump between 10 or 15 or 20 of them, but that doesn't matter. It's like get your foot in the door and start providing value, because small companies become big companies by people who just take action and get them there. So don't look at like a Facebook. It's like, big deal. Like it's the same thing as any small company. They're doing the exact same thing every single day. All they're doing is 10,000 people trying to get the company from a $33 billion company to a $35 billion company, and trying to get more people using the Facebook application. So in a small company, you're doing the exact same thing. You're going from trying to get 1 user to get 1,000 users, to get 10,000 users. It's the exact same process. That process won't change. So don't get scared by being like, hey, I need to work with one of the big boys just because I make more money. Well, it's like, work with one of the small guys. Make money now versus waiting a year. Put the money in your account, like bank the money and wait for your opportunity for one of the bigger guys. But it's like just, you know, you're doing the same thing. At the end of the day, everyone's doing the same thing. So just get kind of in the game. It's better to be in the game than being on the sidelines. And there's too many people that sit on the sidelines waiting for the best opportunity, but they never get an opportunity at anything. And remembering that every single thing is the exact same in every single company. Every single company is looking to do the exact same thing, grow. So their job, whether it's a UX designer, UI designer, or a developer, or it's the CEO of the company, everyone's attempting to do one thing, grow the company. So get good at growing companies, period. That's like the easiest way to kind of help people that are going on that journey. That's my recommendation. So I think that's what's worked with us. So
definitely, that's so true. I love that. Get in the game, get connected to a company, even maybe in the beginning, might be doing some volunteer work, and then afterwards getting paid, and then afterwards growing, and then getting a sponsorship. It's just one step at a time.
Yeah.
For sure. How about you, Fernanda? How was your experience? What tips do you have for someone who is just starting out and thinking about getting a job remotely? Any tips for that?
I think William said everything, but I saw some people asking about experience. So I think it doesn't matter if you're a junior or you're a senior, because all you have to do is to show your work and do it really nice. So people will not see if you're in paper you are a junior or you're a senior. They actually will see your work. So if you do a good job, you'll be recognized by that. So don't give up. At the beginning, I couldn't imagine that we would really work with William. So I confess that I got a little bit surprised. But I think the tip is to work hard and do the better that you can, because someone will see your work, and if it's good, you can really get to something, you know.
Definitely, I agree. I think yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter the level of experience, as long as you just keep showing value. And that's cool to hear that you weren't sure it was going to happen, and it did. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, awesome. And how about you, Jessica? Any tips?
Okay, so when we were building the team, we were just me and Fabricio, and we were wondering, oh, how can we get any back-end developer or designer? So we were a little bit afraid of connecting with anyone. So my advice is to invite your friends, invite someone that you know that has good skills. That was, I think, our key to get this job, because I haven't thought before that this could lead to a milestone. That you have to think in long terms, because your project can be successful. So be sure that your team is on the same boat and they have same values, and you have to recruit people that have the same purposes. So you have to ask what you expect from the product, what you expect from the hackathon, and based on this, I think that's worth to build a team. So we invited Fernanda and Luis, and also other members, and everything worked fine.
Nice, awesome. That's a great tip. Yeah, invite your friends, make a team of people that you know are good and can work together. I think that's also one thing that's really important to say, is that if you're thinking of if you know, I would join earlier, just because you'll be able to create a team, and that's something that we've seen a lot of people didn't have the best experience during the hackathon as they could have, because they were spending the first 3-4 hours looking for a team member. So if you can join the VanHackathon or VanHack Pro now, and you'll be able to join the VanHackathon Slack group, we'll be able to connect you with a team faster, and you can start planning and executing and getting ready. So I think that's something that, yeah, something that I've learned and I recommend as well. So good tip, Jessica. Cool. So maybe we can finish off here. I think it's a good place to kind of end it. It's been about an hour that we've been talking. I'll stick around here and answer any questions from people that are hanging out with us in the webinar. But I would definitely want to be respectable of Dreamify's time. So maybe you guys can all give like one last word to the people out there who are looking for that remote job in Canada. Yeah. Any encouragement? Or maybe you can just give them some words of hope, because I know it's hard out there, right? Looking for a job, and you guys are proof that it's possible.
Yeah, I'll just say that like just during this kind of conversation, like 4 or 5 people reached out on LinkedIn, right? And so the idea is like if you take action like that and you're just constantly putting yourself out there and you're just asking people all the time, you 100 like 99.9% guaranteed. If you're taking action, it's almost impossible not to get a role. And so just keep on taking action. It's like it's pretty straightforward. And when you take action, like every single day, just focus on progress. Don't focus on achieving any. Like achievement, I think, is very, very overrated. Progress is very underrated. So if you like, everyone looks at how can I get to the Olympics. It's like, who cares if you can get to the Olympics? Just get outside and run once, and then go for a run the next day, and then go for a run the third day. It's like, who cares if you get into the best company, Amazon or something like that? Get into one company doing anything, because if you get started, it's really, really hard to stop. Like you don't go along your career and then just stop. So anyone that's kind of looking for an opportunity in Canada, literally just blanket the market everywhere and find something, like get an opportunity, take it, make progress. You're not going to be there. You're probably not going to be there very long. You might just jump to 50 different companies. Who knows? So don't make the achievement the outcome. Make progress the outcome. See how far you can get along the journey and how much you can learn and how much fun you can have. That's what I would say. So, like with our team, we have no idea what we're going to accomplish. We have literally no idea. We're just at the start of the journey, and we're just trying to get to step C now, which is 1,000 registered users. But we didn't start by going, let's get 1,000 users. It was like, let's figure out how we get the website online, and let's get one person to sign up. And our team's laughing because everyone who signed up to the site the first time is like, I could barely even sign up to the site. And then like by the 5th or 10th person, it was like, yeah, we got one user, but we didn't, we're kind of like struggling on step 1. So it's like it's better. And Jessica and I talk like, don't go to step 2 before finishing step 1. So anyone who's trying to get a job, just do step 1. And step 1 is to put yourself out there, and put yourself out there to as many people as possible, and try as many things as possible. You'll get something. So that's what I'd say.
Cool, awesome. Thanks so much. We'll really appreciate you taking some time to share your knowledge. And yeah, everybody who added William on LinkedIn, good job. And I think you're going to be getting a lot more people adding you on LinkedIn now after you gave that tip. So awesome, thanks. Cool. Fernanda, maybe, and then Jessica, you can give her the last word.
Well, I think what I have to say is for people not to be afraid to try, because even if you fail at the first time, you have to keep trying, because you reach something, and maybe something big. So I tried to reach something in the VanHack. I didn't know exactly what I was expecting. I joined the team like 2 days before. So, and we are here now. So I don't know, I think people should not be afraid to try and fail, but just keep trying till you accomplish something you really want,
Sure. Yeah, you never know where the job's going to come from. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, and Jessica, please, any last words?
Okay, so be sure that you deliver something that works. Like, be sure that you deliver something that has a business value. That was more important for us. So in our first prototype, it was not working properly, like the coding part, but we just wanted to make sure that our main idea was could be seen to William.
Definitely, yeah. Deliver a functioning product. Code has no accent, so if you build something that
Yeah, and
is
also
usable,
deliver more than your investor expect. Yeah, that's my tips.
yeah, under promise, over deliver.
So, and
for
work hard,
sure.
people.
I
It's
think.
really worth it. Really worth it.
Nice, fantastic. Well, ladies and William, if you guys want to stick around, feel free. But right now, I'm just going to take questions from the participants, and I really thank you so much for taking your time, sharing your knowledge, sharing your skills, sharing your experience, I should say, with us. And I will. Now just take some time here and answer questions from everybody. So keep working. Good luck. Keep dreaming. And I look forward to seeing the excuse me, the new website online. I look forward to seeing your guys' growth, and I'm sure the other members of VanHack will love to use the product when it's ready to go.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ilya. I'm out. Take care, man.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Bye, Fernanda. Bye, Jessica. Thanks so much. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm just going to take about 5 to 10 minutes here to answer any questions you guys have. Really great having everyone here. Hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. I've seen a lot of questions about, do these skills have jobs in Canada? Do these skills have jobs in Canada? For everyone who's interested to see how many jobs there are for your skill, just go to indeed.ca and type in the skill that you have, and you'll see exactly how many jobs there are for designers, for developers, for front-end, PHP, etc. Okay? So just before anyone asks me another question about that, just go to that website, and all the jobs that are available are there. Cool. So Rodrigo asks, how does a hackathon work? Actually, I think Kaio asked the same one. So how does a hackathon work? What is a hackathon? Great question. So the hackathon works by having a lot of people come together, whether in person or online. In this case, it's online, and working on a project for a very intense, short period of time. So we will be working from Friday night to Sunday night, so it'll be 2 days, and you'll be working very intensely. Most people don't sleep very much during those 2 days, and you work to solve challenges from companies. So we have 5 companies that are confirmed for the hackathon. We have Hootsuite, Shopify, My Best Helper, Thinkific, and This Open Space. And I have many other companies that we're talking to. We're going to probably have around 10, maybe more, maybe 15, we'll see. And we're going to, what they'll do is they're going to share challenges with you. So every company will share 1 or more challenges, like build an app that is a mobile chat app, which is a challenge from Hootsuite, or a challenge could be something very specific, like solve this math problem. You'll be in teams of either 1 to 4 people. Usually I recommend teams to be at least 2 people. So you can have like a back-end developer and a front-end developer, or maybe a back, a front-end, and a designer, something like this. And you'll be working to solve the challenges together. Actually, how about I show you guys this? Every will have a channel. So let me know. Can you guys see? Can you guys see this? My screen, just quickly. Just let me know if you can see my screen. Let's see if I click here. Maybe this will work. Yes? Okay, great. So this Slack group, this is where all VanHack Pro members are. We talk here and interact and exchange ideas. And every hackathon company has a channel. For example, Broadband TV and the recruiter, Ashley, or her last name Aprophonic Ashley, is here answering questions for people during the hackathon. So you'll actually be able to speak to members of teams. For example, this is the Axiom Zen team, or Axiom Zen channel. And you can see here some members of the Axiom Zen team. Let's see here, for an example, Eric from Axiom Zen was very active in the hackathon last time. His messages, there was a lot of messages, as you guys can imagine, during the hackathon. So a lot of people talking, a lot of people sharing ideas, and yeah, you can see there's a lot of information. So here, for example, Eric from Axiom Developer from Axiom Zen, which is a really great startup, your company actually not from Canada, was chatting with the team. And some companies like Hootsuite had more than one challenge, different challenges, and each challenge has, well, someone's talking to me right now. Different challenges have different channels, and teams work together to solve those challenges. And for example, here, the CEO of My Best Helper, Alex was in the channel asking questions, etc., etc. So you know, once you're in the hackathon, I'll stop sharing my screen here. Once you're in the hackathon, you'll be able to talk directly with companies, directly with recruiters, directly with the CEOs, the people who did make the decision or not. And you'll be able to show them and interact with them. Exactly, each channel has a different challenge. So you just join the channel that you want to work at. You join, for example, let's say you want to do 2 challenges, so you join both the challenges, and you start interacting and asking questions to the recruiters, figuring out what they want. If you have any tech questions, yeah, and they're there to help you. It's all done in Slack, so yes, everything will be in Slack, and we're actually building out something in the VanHack platform where you can actually submit your projects on the VanHack platform. You can also create channels for your team. That's a great question, Paulo. So challenges, teams can also create channels, and I won't show that, but you can imagine it's the same thing. And we have a lot of teams create their own channels and kind of interact. And yeah, the way that the challenges work, and to answer Kayo's question, is they're all presented right before the hackathon starts. So right at the beginning of the hackathon, I will share the challenges with everybody at the same time. That way, no one has unfair advantage. No one can see the challenges before other people. So everyone sees them at the same time, which will be at the start of the hackathon, which will be 5 p.m. Brazil time. Then we will share the challenges, and you decide which ones you want to work at, and start working. Different challenges we'll have. So Carol, yes, build many different things. So build an app, design a landing page. There's many different types of challenges. I'll actually share the challenges from the previous hackathon with you guys in another email. So you can see what the challenges were for the previous hackathon. Anyway, only web challenges, web and mobile. Yeah, so web and mobile. Service, list of companies. Yeah, Roberto, we have that premium. Well, you can actually see in the job board. So if you go to app.vanhack.com and create an account, you can see all the job boards. All the jobs that are in the job board, and apply to those jobs, and all those are with partner companies. One thing that we have for our premium members is something called the list. And this is a list of companies that you want to work at. So one thing you do is you create a list of companies you want to work at, and we can then understand who to introduce you to and how that would work. So yeah, that's something that's members. There's some more questions here, maybe time for 2 or 3 more questions. Yes, Bruce, there definitely be remote opportunities, but there's also opportunities with companies that sponsor visas. So yeah, this is a good point. Not only will we have remote opportunities, but we will also have opportunities with companies that want you to move to Canada and work with you in person. So that's really exciting too. So this is not just for remote. This is also for in-person jobs, wherein all the companies that will be at the hackathon are either hiring remote or in person, which one they want. So yeah, both of those. Wilson, you can't find how to do the translation on the website. It should be on the top right corner. There's a little box with the language. So yeah, it's a transparent box right above the sign up button. Yeah. Paulo, designer market. Yeah, there's a ton of designer jobs. Again, I mentioned this in the beginning just now. Just go to Indeed, click on designer, and there's 6,800 jobs, okay? So just check that link, okay? Cool. I missed part of the Hangout. Yes, this will definitely be available on YouTube tomorrow. So you can watch this on YouTube. Actually, maybe not tomorrow, but next week. I'll upload this video to YouTube, so you can watch it right away. Cool. All right. Cool. So guys, if you are ready to be part of the VanHackathon, I think like I mentioned, the VanHack Pro is for VanHack Pro English or Premium members. VanHack Pro, price of I don't know, 20 reais. How much is what can you buy in Brazil for 20 reais these days? Yeah, it's a price like of just the lunch. Yeah, hi from Chile, awesome, that's so cool. Yeah, so $10 is I think 5,000 pesos. So it's not very much money for you to join and have. You'll have a consultation call with one of our members. You'll have access to a video course, an email course that helps you understand about the technology market, and you'll also be part of the Slack group and be part of the VanHackathon. So I think that if you're looking to move to Canada and work in tech, you won't find a better a better opportunity out there. And awesome to see people from Chile, from Bolivia, from Venezuela, from all over Latin America, and hopefully soon all over the world, working together to get an awesome tech job in Canada and maybe other countries in the future as well. Yeah, hi Jose from Venezuela, that's awesome. Great to have you here. All right, guys, I am gonna go. I have a lot of stuff to do. Actually, I gotta go work more. It was really nice to hang out with you guys today. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, Nino. Nino, one of our VanHack Premium members who got a job as a CTO of a Vancouver startup called Katuro. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about VanHack Pro, about VanHack in general, you know my email. So just send me an email here at ilya@vanhack.com. And if you haven't created an account on VanHack, you can see our jobs, see our free course. You just go to app.vanhack.com and create an account. Thanks so much. Have a good night. Thanks, Lena. If you're in Santiago, Lena, I'm not sure, but if you're in Santiago, come and we can meet in person. Awesome. Thanks, Philip. Thanks, Louise. And thanks, everybody. We'll probably have another webinar in a couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Talk in the Slack group for all you pro and premium members. And yeah, have an awesome weekend, guys.